right, 6 o'clock. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can. Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. McKnight?
Present.
Mrs. Carlson? Here. Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Hastings?
Here.
Mrs. Meeks here.
Chris Arduino, Recording Secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Jason Bloom, Communications and Community Relations.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle, Curriculum and Instruction.
Josh Rand, Business and Operations.
Excellent. You for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, this evening it is our honor to have students from Loves Park Elementary joining us.
Excellent.
Grab them.
Hello.
Come on, yep, we're ready to come all the way out here. And if you want to turn your face, these people right here.
These are some of Loves Park's ML students, and we have Miss Menova, their teacher, and she'll introduce everybody here.
Yeah, this is Matej Milanik in 2nd grade. This is Mia Marcos in 5th grade, George Plater in 2nd grade, and Kaden Bellenquist, 1st grader.
Welcome. Welcome. Everybody stand.
You ready? All right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, board members, if we could do a photo. Thank you. All right, let's do a photo.
I gotcha. Teamwork.
We know our slot down
Yeah,
here.
Perfect.
Sorry. I'll get back.
You're all in?
Yep, you got it. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Roman.
We'd have it down now.
Yeah. No changes to the agenda. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Mr. Yarbrough?
All right, thank you. The mission of the Harlan Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do a motion and a second for the approval of board minutes, regular and closed minutes from December 16th, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye. Next, we've got Mr. Bloom.
All right, well, good evening again, everyone.
So we don't have any closed items
A
tonight.
large exciting, so we had to have them stand out in the back hallway. This evening, it is my honor to recognize some special students from Harlem Middle School. We have students that performed as part of the ILMEA. Yep, you keep coming around this way, come towards me. Yep, we're gonna face this way. Yeah, come, yeah, keep going, keep going.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So this group, and then some, participated in the ILMEA, Illinois Music Education Association Festival, as well as we have a few individuals that participate in, or are participating in the upcoming state competition as well. And so we've got two of our teachers over here, Miss Betsy and Miss Jessica, that are going to introduce our kids, talk a little bit about what they've been up to, what they're going to be up to, but I don't think we told them that yet, but they have to introduce themselves. You guys. All right, perfect. I'm putting you on the spot. So we are going to introduce you. You're going to have to say your name and what grade you're in. Okay, but we'll let it's just so you can think about it, get prepared. We'll let your teachers start and talk a little bit about What's
Well, I
been
have
going
3
on?
band students here out of 4, so band students, if you could raise your hand really quick, 1, 2, 3. And they went to the concert band festival, and Joshua, rubber ducky, he went to the jazz festival as well, so he went to 2 festivals, and it was a great experience. I think one is in girls' basketball tonight, so she's a busy kid, and she wasn't able to make it. Go ahead and say your name for us.
My name is Evie, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name's Joshua, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name's Olivia, I'm in 8th grade.
Is there a band student?
Can you tell real quick before we get into the other ones? Can you say what instrument you play?
I play the alto saxophone.
Okay.
The alto.
I play the flute.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Jessica Koenig, and I had 21 choir students go to the festival, the district festival. I have 12 of them here tonight, and of all of those students, we actually got 3 that made it to the state level. So at the end of January, I get to take them to Peoria, and they get to sing with the first ever junior high state choir.
So cool. All right.
That's obviously pretty awesome, and I can't remember, I was looking at some of the numbers the other day, and just even to participate and then obviously to make that level is quite an accomplishment based on the number of kids that participate across the state, and so kudos to all of you. But of course, I'm not letting you off the hook, y'all gotta introduce yourselves, so we'll start down at that end. You ready?
My name is Gracie, and I'm in 6th grade. My name's Lily, I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Charlie, and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Mia, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name's Ian, I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Layla, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Adeline, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name's Sophie, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Sage, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Michaela, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Thais, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Kaylee, and I'm in 8th grade.
We just have the 3 state people. Can you just step forward really quick? It's Thais and Sophie and Layla. So those are the
Obviously quite an accomplishment. We're super excited for all of you, especially our students that are going to be participating in the upcoming state competition as well. We wish you the best. I know that you will represent Harlem well. We are obviously, as a board, as a district, as a community, super proud of all of you and the work that you do and the way that you represent us across the state. So thank you to our teachers as well for leading this and continue to invest in the kids. And so the inside joke, they don't know this yet, Miss Young, but she also worked at Ralston with me. So anytime I get a chance to connect to Ralston, that's my thing. So again, thank you, congratulations to all of you. Job well done.
Good job.
We'll all come to the middle, and we're going to do a quick photo with the board. We're going to come this way, come towards me, and then we're going to turn around and face the other direction. We're going to have to do a little bit of height.
Short people in front. Abby, get in the back. Abby and Sage, get in the back.
We might have to do a few rows because we've got a pretty good sized group of you.
Follow you to the back.
Make sure I can see everybody's face. Make sure you can see me. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice job. I'll get a link if there's somebody else wants a photo. Good. All right. Awesome.
A lot more years of it.
There are a lot of 6th and 7th graders. I'm not sure. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, I got 3 6th
I thought you were asking me to say. You know what that's
It'd be terrible to have some music at a board meeting.
They're singing anyway. Just a teaser there for you, Aaron.
So, to continue in this theme, now we have some of our high school students here with Mr. Perrian, some of our teachers. All come up. So just like we did with the middle school students, we're going to have these students introduce themselves, talk a little about their kind of season per se, and then I'll let Mr. Perry as well talk about some of the stuff going on. So why don't we start with introductions, but we do have a special guest, and I'm going to put you on the spot because you're a student teacher. It's kind of like a, I don't want to say easy process, but like, you know, it's an opportunity. So why don't you introduce, we have one of our student teacher here with us.
Hello, my name is Haley Hamilton. I am a senior studying instrumental music education at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, and I have the wonderful ability to student teach with Mr. Perrion. And I just went on their Theater Fest adventure, and I will be joining all of them for the All-State Music Festival thing, and I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Welcome to the district, obviously. Thank you for participating and obviously going above and beyond too to be a part of this as a student teacher. So we're excited to have you here. So Mr. Perrin, you mind talking a little bit about just this group and who's represented here and what they've accomplished?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Mr. Perrion. I think I've met all of you. These students are some of our high school students who were selected for District ILMEA, and they choose to do that kind of over and above and beyond what they have to do for their curricular classes. They learn some additional pretty collegiate level pieces and have to do scale sheets and things like that. They record their auditions in October, and then through a competitive selection process, some of them were selected to represent Harlem at district this year. So we've got our 3 band students that were selected this year. This is Nolan, Morgan, and Brielle. And then we have Chloe and Ariana that are representing Harlem High School Choir. We had 4 other choir students that also were selected for district that weren't able to make it tonight. They get to go to DeKalb in early November and spend the day rehearsing with students who were selected for this festival from all over Northern Illinois. They usually get to work with a college band director and kind of experience some higher level music than they might be able to do in their home programs all together as kind of a all-star group, and then they put on a fantastic performance for all of us and their families in the evening. We also this year have 2 students, neither of them are here tonight, that qualified for state in music. There's a number of ways they can do that. The 2 that we have this year qualified for the Future Music Educators Seminar, which is really exciting for Mr. Toledo and I to see students who want to go into the best profession in the world, which Haley will also be joining very soon. But they have an interview process and they have to submit an application, and it's very competitive. I believe there's only about 35 students that are selected to do that from the state, and we have 2 of them this year. So we're really excited for them to experience that in about 2 weeks in Peoria. So.
I know he introduced you and said your names, but can you say instrument?
I told them they didn't need to
talk.
So I'm Nolan. At Brown VA, I did tenor saxophone, and then for college, we do clarinet.
Okay. Oh, cool.
I'm Morgan and I play trumpet.
I'm Brielle and I also play trumpet.
Hi, I'm Chloe and I'm soprano 1 and 2.
Hi, I'm Ariana and I'm soprano 1 and 2.
Awesome.
You guys should wear your instruments.
Next time maybe we'll coordinate that.
2 of them did.
Yeah, 2 on the end did.
Yeah. So obviously on behalf of the Harlem School District, our board, and our community, congratulations to all of you. Job well done. Thank you for representing us so well. Thank you to our student teacher and teachers that lead you all and put in the time and effort to make these experiences happen. So we're excited to see more of that and what's to come after high school as well for some of you, and maybe some of you back next year. But
Mr. Bloom, real quick, question for our student teacher. Did you also attend Ralston? Did you attend Ralston Elementary? It's an inside joke.
I'm from Roscoe.
So she might know who Ralston is. Like 10, 15 years ago. That principal was pretty awesome.
That's our welcome, though. That's our-
Yeah.
I forgot to say this too, is Nolan is planning to study music in his future. He's a senior this year.
Okay.
He's gonna be auditioning for Milliken in like a week.
Oh,
Right?
Oh, wow. All right.
Well, like we said before, again, it's a testament to our staff that, you know, are part of this and build these programs up, and to hear the numbers and see the level that these kids are competing at and participating at is pretty awesome to see. So thank you to you and congratulations to all of you. All right, photo time.
All right.
Go again. We should just stand up.
So I'll say you count to this way and then turn on please.
Yes, I have been here a week.
5 days.
Oh, wow. Right into the fire.
Yep, it's been great.
He's helping me jump a Harley
Michael Johnson is that.
Nice.
So
Primo first assignment.
Yep, I think I count everybody's face. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Good? All right.
Fantastic
Nice
job.
Great job.
My license will be due orchestra, but my kind of focus is.
We're still kind of neat. They're going up there.
I'll let him know tomorrow.
I can play about a middle school level on everything.
Okay.
All right, so we have one more this evening. Invite one of our teachers up from Harlem Middle School. So we got word, and this is an opportunity for us to highlight some cool things happening in her classroom down at the middle school, but also to kind of publicly thank an individual who's not able to be with us because they're based out of California, but a company that supported the efforts of Ms. Jager and the work that they're doing at the middle school. And so she's here to talk a little bit about some weather stuff that they're doing. We had an opportunity and received the weather stations from, it was Bloom Sky. They've recently been acquired by Nubila, and they provided 3 weather stations, right? And then there's a couple more too, right?
3 weather stations with cameras.
Okay.
And 5 weather stations without to place around community and surrounding areas to gather data.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about that and
Sure.
kind of what the plans are? And,
Sure. So I moved from 7th grade to 6th grade. And while I was in 7th grade, I really enjoyed the whole gardening and like the whole thing that they do in 7th grade. And I thought, my 6th graders need something cool too. So I went ahead and started looking at the new curriculum. We got new curriculum and Open Syed. And the last half of the school year, we'll be studying everything to do with weather events, the water cycle and rock cycles and all of the weather stuff that goes with it. And so I thought, oh, that would be really fun. Everybody likes weather. And so I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I was like, I'll get a Apple grant, a Golden Apple grant. So I started to apply for the Golden Apple grant to get green screen and all of the stuff that goes with it. And I was like, I need a weather station, that's like really important. So I sent an email off to Bloom Sky, who's now Nubila, and said, hey, this is what we're trying to do. I want my students to be able to experience weather in a new way. And not just look at the data, but look at our data and then be able to give weather reports and have them displayed on our TVs throughout the school. And so with that, the CEO of the company sent me an email back and said, I completely support this. I want to jump on board. I want to gift you these cameras. And so he's delivered the three with the cameras so far. And I just talked to him last week, and he's sending out the other 5, so they've just upgraded their system.
Wow.
So each camera is worth about $300. In total, I will have about $3,000 donated in supplies for our weather unit for our 6th graders.
Oh, awesome.
So obviously we kudos to you and thank you to you for going above and beyond to create that experience. And for our board, like if you get a chance, maybe not right now, to Google like Bloom Sky, weather station, like it's really awesome stuff. And it's something I really enjoy looking at. And being able to see this community weather concept of really all bringing together people across the world, essentially,
yes.
to be able to see real-time data anywhere. And it's not just I'm gonna pull up my phone and look up, you know, Chesney Park, Illinois, what's that, like I can see camera footage live of what that looks like and have that real-time data that is, you know, pinpoints accuracy and so there's really some cool features. I know I'm downplaying this a lot, but a lot of really cool features that our kids will get to interact with. And again, in part by you taking the initiative to go above and beyond to make that happen for our kids, so we appreciate that.
So is your class gonna be the ones that are designated snow days
Right.
and stuff now too? Because you're never right.
Snow on the camera, just to.
Yes, I'm sure they will come up with their sixth grade, I'm sure they'll come up with something. Yeah, but we're really excited about it. I asked my other sixth grade team, science team members if they would be interested in joining, and of course they said yes. So it will not be just my classroom, it will be the entire sixth grade that will be able to be involved in some way. So we'll have people that are writing the script and studying the data, and people that are shooting the videos, and people that are editing, and people that are like on camera, and so we've got this whole system started. So
Wow.
I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into it. The radio, no, TV stations have been invited in. I've talked to a friend of mine who's a storm chaser, so he's going to send us a video too about what he does and how that works too. So anyway, there's a whole lot more that goes into this, and I wish I had like more time to spend with you and share everything. It's really neat
Hopefully,
stuff.
once we get kind of up and going and we get to, you know, we'll get a chance to share that stuff with the board.
Perfect.
Yeah, if it gets shared, that'd be awesome. I get my weather from sixth graders
It's really
over.
cool to see all of them.
I know.
It's out there for sure.
Yeah, so on behalf of the board and our, obviously our students and our families, we want to thank you for.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's just so much, you got enough on your plate and just go out there. It's fantastic. I love the initiative.
Yeah, I nerd on weather. I nerd out on weather.
So, well, thank you, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, come on up.
All right.
Not every adult takes me up on that, so, not every adult wants to have total taken.
Yeah.
Do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Hey,
That's awesome.
seriously, such a cool idea.
Right before a snowstorm.
What do you think you're gonna have?
I'll take the day off.
All right, is that everything, sir? All right. And with that, public comments, we have one in person and then,
We have 2 by email, but the person that's speaking in
Yeah,
person
I sent
also
an
sent an email, so I think that covers it.
sure.
Because I kind of want to go off script, but I want to get some of my thoughts into the board. So my name is Paul Hoffman, and many of you know me. And I'm running as a candidate for Harlem School Board, as you know. And I just enjoyed some of the thoughts and statements made at the Committee of the Whole last week. And I'd like to begin with those comments. One was about the importance of challenging each student equally and not going in with the perception that, hey, maybe this student can't handle certain material. So I really appreciated that we challenge students to the highest of their ability. And the other thought was the struggle in the Education Committee as far as understanding the statistics, the difficulty of the data, but really the problem with English, language, arts, and math capability, comprehension. So, since I was objected to be on the ballot, I thought I probably should address maybe why I'm running. So at least give you a reason why I'm in this race. The big driver for me is, it's been in the news quite a bit. It's called H-1B visas. And it's a real matter of debate and conflict in our nation, but it's been a problem for decades. H-1B visas are given to non-US citizens outside of the country because companies claim there's not enough talent to fill positions. And I've been involved in this as part of the engineering community for a long time. And I was also involved with NIU getting engineering curriculum there at Rock Valley College because we need more engineers. I do have a bias towards that. And as a hiring manager, I found it difficult to find talent. So I really look at the Harlem school system and other school systems as key to building up the capability for students to have that talent. So that is a big driver for my interest in the school board. I want to participate in what I can to support that. So I just thought I'd explain a couple of key points of what priorities that I see for us is improving academic quality and supporting merit-based advancement, consistent with, pushing students to their highest capability. Second, protecting students, teachers, and administrators from violence and the threats of violence. Third, I saw the mandates section of the website. I'm a strong supporter of pushing back on mandates that cut into instructional learning. So that's a very important aspect. And then finally, reducing spending and cutting tax rates for the good of our community. So those are the key things that I support and why I'm in this race. I just thought I'd let the interested stakeholders of the school board and anybody who's listening just hear it from me directly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second public comment would be from Caitlin McRoy, received today at 4:30 p.m. by email. She also watched the COTW, or Community of the Whole meeting on January 8th, listened to the equity activities and social justice work. And she did say in this email that she wanted to commend Megan Hastings for the hard work she has accomplished during the tenure while on the school board.
Thank you. And this will be posted and attached.
Yes.
And if there's no other comments, then we move on to the approval of bills. Josh?
All right. The payables this period were $1,255,669.97. There were 3 payrolls this period, in the total amount of $10,798,210.01, for total expenditures of $12,053,879.98. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $10,503,854.05. The operations and maintenance fund paid $550,293.89. The transportation fund paid $537,771.84. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $380,129.25. The Capital Projects Fund paid $49,187.67. And the Life Safety Fund paid $32,643.28. Again, for total expenditures of $12,053,879.98. Are there any unanswered bill questions? That is it for the bills.
Thank you. With that, we will move into our communication, sorry?
Motion.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Motion and second to approve the bills.
Motion.
Second. Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling? I'm
Close.
sorry, Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
I forgot to cross his name out on that.
A-okay.
My mistake.
And now we will move into communications and committee reports, and we're gonna go right back to you, Ms. Ellen.
We rotate. Just so you know, we rotate.
I know. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. I want to say thank you to the speaker that spoke this evening, and then the one that sent the one that wasn't here to speak, that sent her email in. We appreciate it, each and every one when you send your comments and on any concerns or questions that you have about anything. As I stated before, don't be embarrassed or ashamed. That's what we're here for, to always make sure we can give you the right advice or direct you in the right direction to get what you need, what information you need. I also want to thank Loves Park elementary students for a wonderful job on the Pledge of Allegiance this afternoon. They did a great job. I also like the artwork. I have to point that out each time I come in, especially when I see the difference they do. The kids all do an amazing job. The middle school, the band and the choir, I mean, that's amazing. We had 3 6th graders, 3 7th graders, and 6 8th graders for state band and choir. I think that's amazing. My daughter, she was one of those students. She played I had one played the saxophone and one played the clarinet, and she went to state. And I know you probably remember her, Mickey Sherrill, and she was amazing. She was first chair all through high school, and she got a scholarship to Grambling University, but she didn't want to go, so she chose to stay here. We were she got a full ride. She was scared, being that far away from home and not knowing anybody, but she ended up, now she's a nurse practitioner, so God has a way of what you think you might want to do, it might be something else that He has planned for you to do, so I'm glad that she did end up being a nurse practitioner in the cancer unit. I also want to thank Mrs. Yeager for starting that program with the school for weather. I always like weather, but I just don't see how those storm chasers can do it. I would probably be running into the tornadoes and everything. And I think that's amazing how we're trying to get things for students to do at an early age so they can figure out what they want to do. Because like I always stated, everybody's not college material. The trades and all the different resources that are out here now that we're bringing back to help students, we are doing really good. And I also want to thank our teachers, staff, and administrators. As I stated once before, I attended an ISB meeting right after COVID, and they stated it would be the year 2035, 2036, that we would all the schools across this whole state would be back. All across the country will be back to where we were before COVID started. So I have to say to everybody in this district, hold your head up high. You're doing an amazing job, and you are greatly appreciated because people on the outside don't understand what you guys go through and how hard it is. And I know you're doing a good job at what you're doing, and I want to wish you continued success. And with this being the 12th day, 13th day in the new year, I want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful, prosperous, blessed, happy New Year 2025, and I wish our school district to keep on reaching for the stars and to keep moving up. And although sometimes we might not get along and disagree with people, we still should talk with each other, because when you don't disagree and you argue, but you don't come together, you'll never get the problem solved. And what we need to do is start talking to each other, instead of saying this behind this person's back or saying this, and then when you see each other, you still don't get nothing accomplished. We need to focus on this district, our students, and show them that we are the better person, that we can get together and talk and come to a better understanding to try to make the world better for them, because the world is constantly changing. It's not like it was when we were younger, and it's scary out there. And although people have different beliefs, different sexual orientations, different religions, different colors, marriages, we need to just realize they're human beings too. And we all need to try to start loving each other, because our kids are not where we are. They are doing what we're trying to keep them. They love each other. But when you pump things into their heads and confuse them, they don't know what to do and they don't know which way to turn, and that's why the suicide rate is up high. When I was young, I never even thought about killing myself. I was bullied in school, but I didn't think about killing myself. I prayed and I talked to people, but a lot of stuff I kept to myself. But as I got older, I got stronger. And that's what we need to start doing with our young people, getting with them and try to figure out a way to talk to them, to make them feel comfortable, to be able to hold their heads up high, to be able to come to school every day and get the education they need. And we need to also have safety for our teachers, where our teachers can be in classroom to speak and teach without worrying about what somebody's outside saying they're not doing. It's hard out there, and it's hard for them. So I give you all praise, all the teachers all over the country, and especially the teachers and the staff and administrators in our district. And that's all I have to say. But Happy New Year to everybody. Oh, I always forget that.
You're all in the hole now.
The next Equity and Social Justice meeting is February 5th, 2025 at 4:30. And I hope I didn't make anybody mad, but if you do, you have to place it on my heart. I was trying to be heartful, but I might have came off wrong, but that's it. Thank you.
Mr. McKnight.
Oh, yes. You know, I'm going to kind of echo some of the things, Evelyn, you know, about with Loves Park coming in to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not saying these in shorter time, it's just I'm reiterating stuff. I really like that Jason's now, we celebrate all of our students and all of our students' extracurricular activities, and so many times the band, the choir, that kind of stuff, even like, you know, the science clubs and all that kind of stuff, it gets overlooked. But me being a different learner, like sitting down in a classroom and listening to someone lecture is not the way I learn. I was more of a hands-on type of person. And learning music not only through your class, but through a club or going to other events, it's great that we offer that. And to have students in the middle school and high school level that are excelling in that is showing that we are doing the right work. And I call it in my head like alternative learning, like, okay, sitting here listening to a teacher taking a test on what they said, or putting my hands on an instrument, or learning the scale on music. I don't know if I said that right, because I listen to it, I just don't do it. But, you know, doing that kind of stuff, all the stuff we're doing with CTE, you know, it really shows, and with what Mrs. Yeager is doing with the weather, like, I don't know what kid does not want to predict the next snowstorm. Like, I don't know what kid doesn't want to predict the possible outbreak of severe weather. Like, I took some classes like that in the little bit of college that I did. Once again, classroom learning was not my forte, and those were the classes that I got A's in and excelled in because it fascinated me. So thank you for her. I will also want to say that we, as a board, we've received a couple of emails about start times. And the first thing I want to say is there was no right way to do that. There was the lesser of the evil ways, in my opinion. There was nothing that was going to work out for everybody, and unfortunately that was deemed. We had to make a decision to make sure school started on time, and that was it's a lack of bus drivers. And I'm not going to apologize for the decision, but I'm not going to say it was an easy one, and I don't even know if it was the right one still. In my mind, it still is, but those are things that we can look at at the beginning of the next school year. So the people that are feeling, you know, I know it might be hard for younger students to stay awake a little bit, stay attentive later in the day, and it's harder for some older students to get up earlier in the morning. I understand that. Unfortunately, this is what we had to do to adapt to the circumstances that we were given. So for the people that sent us emails, I want to say thank you, and it's definitely something we'll review again before next school year. I have no problem looking at it again and looking at the logistics, but that was just the best way that we found out to have the least amount of negativity in the district. So like I said, it was the best option that we had, and I just wanted to address it. And it wasn't something that we looked at for 10 minutes and took the first person's opinion. We scrutinized, the logistics of that. So just know that we hear you, and we will look into it again before the start of next school year. And if situations change, we want to try to be as accommodating to all. So with that being said, I will pass it off to Rebecca. Or Kurt, you can pass it on.
Ms. Carlson. Duly noted.
Happy New Year to everybody for January. I'm so excited that it's 2025. I was sitting here earlier this morning talking with family members, and 46 years ago today, it was 24 below zero and 21 inches of snow. So that was pretty impressive for an 8th grader to be out hanging out in the backyard and building snow forts, and 46.
So that was a 77, 78, 79, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing back then. Most of these pups around the table that don't even know what 1979 was, but either way. I just want to say thank you for the weather. Again, I love the weather. I want to sit in that class. Jason, I want to be in that class. I hope she has a chair for me, because I love weather. I lived through a tornado 25 years ago, and man, that's amazing. I'm the first one in the house with the binoculars looking at the clouds, so I can't wait to be in that, just to sit in on that class. Thank you to our Mr. Perian and the middle school teachers as well. I'm a music nut, so I just love seeing them all enjoy the music and go on the stage and sing their hearts out and play the instruments. And I'll never forget Mr. Perian and his Star Wars ensemble he did, must have been about 5 years ago, and that was cool. That was so cool. But thank you for all of that's going on. I had a really neat thing happen today. I thought it was so cool, and of course it's been going on since November. And Josh hadn't told me about it, unfortunately, and I had forgotten to ask. But I talked to our food service director, Jamie Carollo, and she said they have now gone to, most of the students are using fiberboard trays. We have basically gotten rid of the polystyrene. Yes.
Awesome.
Because I know we've tried that, and some toxins and all the crapola that's in them, not use the terminology, but I'm just so excited that we've changed over to that. And I don't have much else. I love the weather, so let's get going on the weather. I'm excited. I'm not into this minus 24 degrees stuff, but at the same time, so back to you, Kurt.
Excellent. Mr. Smith.
I'd like to thank the Loves Park Elementary Schools for coming in and leading us in the pledge. They did a terrific job. And also, I'd like to acknowledge those people that are representing the Harlem School District with their musical talents. That is a great accomplishment, and we should all be very proud of them. Ms. Meeks, the whole storm chaser thing, I don't get. I'm more of a storm runner away from her.
Runner away. Pays less.
Well, when they say to get inside of a sturdy structure, I figured they know what they're talking about. I'm not gonna go out there and chase it. That doesn't make sense to me. But I think that's wonderful that we take an opportunity to teach our kids about the environment and the weather and the world, and that's a terrific initiative taken. And I'd also like to say to Ms. Meeks, I believe that peace and love is alive in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
So amen to you. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to move forward with, peace and love in 2025.
She got a t-shirt made with that.
How about a banner? Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Hastings?
Yeah, so I hope everybody had a fantastic break. Break is a good time to fit in those Battle of the Books, or two. So I read The Last Human. That got me to my 2/3 done mark. It was a great book with a great message. So I know battles are starting up this month, so good luck to everybody partaking. The HMS transition meeting invites were put on Facebook, so if you're a current 5th grade parent, please keep an eye out for your school's night. I went to last year's, and there's a lot of fantastic information. You'll get information on scheduling, you'll get information on summer skill building, and your kid, if they have not been to the middle school, might get their first look around the building that they'll spend time in. So would highly recommend. Baker Street competition winners were named. So the winner was the Husky Jalapeno Sliders. And I apologize in advance if I butcher anybody's name. I think those were made by students Michael Swanson, Colton Zanoni, and Haley Fulton. So huge congratulations to those 3 students, and a thank you to Miss Watson and Betsy from Baker Street Burger and her staff. That was such an amazing opportunity for those culinary kids. My only hope is that Miss Watson sticks around long enough to have the Hastings. Education Pathway is emphasizing kindness this year, which I think is absolutely fantastic. They are truly leading by example. If you have not gotten a chance to follow them on Instagram, right now is the time for sure. You get to see the littles and the bigs and the highlights of the preschool program, as well as highlighting kindness. It really brightens up your news feed that can be kind of dark sometimes. So, and then lastly, the documentary students just finished up before break their investigative journalism projects. Constantly blown away by this program, by our students' ability to research and report on different topics. Seriously awesome journalism skills. So shout out to all the journalism students. And the next Education Committee will be February 5th as part of Committee of the Whole at 4:30. Back to you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing, Kurt?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I did forget is to mention Mr. Perrin. I know he was a graduate from this school, and I really want to tell him I'm so proud and thankful that he did come back to Harlem, but he is amazing how he had taken those students and just got them all motivated and playing. And if you get a chance to go to the games to hear that pep band, I wanted to get up and dance. How good they were playing. I mean, they are amazing, and how much they respect him and enjoy just watching them play. So I want to say thank you to him. And then I also, not bragging, I just got chosen to be on the IASB Constitutional Review Committee.
All right.
Look at you.
You
do it with grace.
Well, I tried not to, but they kept sending me emails. So that's all I want to say. I just want to once again just say wishing everybody a successful 2025, and as Larry stated, peace and love. Right, peace and love's alive, and that will be our motto: peace and love alive for everybody. So
in 2025.
In 2025, and then we'll have enough for 2026. But thanks again, and this will be my last time talking, except for doing roll call. So
No, please.
thank you guys again.
Glad to hear your voice.
Yes.
I will be filling in as Mr. Sterling is out. I'll cover these and we'll go to the policy, I think, after that. Bring up the rear here. I mean, thanks for all the mentions and calling out of the great events. I guess collectively at the end, I loved these meetings and bringing in all of the students and the teachers and finding out about some of these great programs and the accolades and where they lead to and the depth that this district has due to our students and our teachers. I don't think you can realize some of the programs that are directly out there. Committee of the Whole meeting, I didn't know we had a D&D club immediately until we found out there was no late buses running. And it seems that every one of these meetings we're giving accolades to a new program that's out there due to the hard work of a teacher that already has a hard job that wants to do that much more to have their students excel and succeed. And every single one of them, especially going into a new year, really needs to be celebrated. I love the competitive nature, noting we've got such a great greenhouse program that I had to do something. And not going, oh, this is so cool, we'll run with it, going, what can I do? And then going out of your way to do this great weather program and building off of that. And those are two that we've heard. I guarantee you there's another 20, 30 or more that we either have heard in the past, we haven't heard yet, or they're too busy working on it to toot their own horn at that point. So I love the chances at these meetings, the Committee of the Whole. I love we're getting more of an audiences for the Committee of the Whole. I like that, right? The one-stop shop to hear everything. And while we go over, approved or unapproved at these meetings, the Committee of the Whole really, you get into it. You see how everything is directly made. You see is it working, is it not working? Is the cost associated worth it? Are we getting our money out of it? Are we going to bring that back again? And it's really important. So please, everyone that's been coming to these meetings, more of them. Stay longer. Watch Josh go. We joke, but just an example of, and to give something to Josh, is tonight we approve the bus purchases. And that's a big deal, and it's a lot of money. And you go, okay, well, they just said yes or no, what does that mean? The committee of the whole meetings, or if you dig into it or watch it, you can see the full schedule, the amount of work that Josh has put in over, has it been 3-4 years now? Figuring out methods that by purchasing buses, we save on the mental capacity of our great mechanics, the savings of the lease payments that we have for some of those programs, and selling them to maximize what we have to do so we can keep those costs low. I think there's a lot of good work that comes out of it. I get to see it at everyone that comes to these meetings, but generally the public doesn't, and more people are coming. And maybe that's because of it being an election season. I don't care. The more people that come and see how this is done, see how the good work that we do is there, and then come to this meeting and celebrate the successes, you can see absolutely the hard work that this district did and how amazing this district is. And as we go off of the positivity and the good thing for 2025 and going into a rough year of, man, if you look, the state budgets are coming. Those are going to be tough. We've got agreements, but things are going to get gloomy and fear is going to come out this year. Elections are this year. Don't let that stop the good work that this district is doing. The teachers are doing this. We're doing this, and we're working together. Like, we've had nothing but successes. We need to toot those. We need to keep this thing going. And when those challenges come, and they will, we're going to be ready for it. We're going to have the right people at this table, not always with the same opinions, figuring this out and making sure we do everything the right way we can. So I appreciate public comments. Elections speeches coming into that is a little bit different. But again, people have spoke before, and I can appreciate that. So again, I just want to say it's 2025. 2024 was good. 2025 is going to be better. And yeah, thanks to everybody. Now we can go through, we're going to read every line by line of the policy things because you guys missed them. No, I kid. We're going to move for recommendation of approving of the first readings of the policy updates from January 8th, 2025 at the policy committee meeting. Can I get a motion and a second, please? Or did I? I don't have to on that one? Okay.
It's on the
Hey, next board meeting, next policy.
I've got that too.
Well, that comes before that.
Well, they've got that.
F1, F2, F3.
And then I've got that part here.
You're just recommending that.
Okay, just recommending on that. And then we've got our next regular board meeting. That is going to be January 27th, 2025, right back here at 6 p.m. The next policy committee meeting, that was got a little bit of a break for that one. That's going to be February 5th, 2025 at the committee of the whole, which is at 4:30. And that covers Mike. And then for myself, that would be the business services committee meeting, also at the committee of the whole, which is back here February 5th, 2025 at 4:30. Did I hit everything? Did I collectively have it? Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent.
Usually F1 goes before F3, just say.
As you said, I don't learn that way.
I didn't learn that way. Well, touche.
All right, and with that, we'll move into administrative reports, and with that, Mrs. Erb.
Thank you. I have 3 overnight travels. A couple of them I have sent to you guys previously because it happened between board meetings. So the first 2 that have taken place was January 9th through 11th was Theater Fest. They went to U of I for the weekend. Hope we get an opportunity to kind of hear what they did last year. They came back and they shared all the great things that they had done at Theater Fest. And then the 10th through the 12th, bowling went to Fairview Heights for the St. Clair Bowl. And then upcoming, our Key Club has their yearly convention that happens in Springfield. That is February 21st through the 23rd. I know that that's always been a real valuable experience to them as well. So I'm asking for approval tonight, and that ends my report.
Dr. Erb, because it was very nice to see our student teacher here. How many student teachers are in the district this year?
I was gonna say, HR oversees that, so I don't know that number off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Just 1 second.
I would have thought you would have known that. Just off the top of your head.
9 or 11, I think is my guess.
I will tell you it was.
I know that we
9
looked
to
at it
11.
recently to make, because they have the opportunity to take part in our grant and get paid for that time, so it just kind of helped them a little bit with the agreement then that they apply when we have open positions, so.
17.
For the year.
17, wow.
But that's for the whole year.
I like her
Semester.
numbers.
17 for the whole year.
Yes.
Well, 11 for this semester?
Let me count this.
Stop.
You delivered.
They didn't all go to Ralston either.
But we have been very fortunate, Mr. Smith, I'm glad you brought them up, with the number of student teachers we got last year that are teaching for us
The
this year.
contingency, so we get the parameter on it.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. And with that, we will move to Josh Arand for the recommendation that you provide here.
Thank you.
Yes.
My first item is a recommendation to approve a resolution declaring surplus property at Harlem High School, Maple, and Marquette Elementary. I have a recommendation to approve one facility request tonight with Premier Football Academy for a rental of the high school. Any questions on either of those? All right. My third item is a recommendation to accept the September and October treasurer's reports. And we will be in 2 treasury report months for a few more months, then we'll be caught up after the audit. So, are there any questions on the treasurer's reports? Okay. Next is a recommendation to award the bus bid to Central States Bus Sales for 5 conventional style Bluebird buses at a cost of $681,600 total, and 5 transit style front end Bluebird buses at a cost of $795,000 for a total cost of $1,476,600. Just to kind of Kurt's point, typically we buy 15, this is 10, and we got 2 free or 0 cost electric buses coming paid for by the EPA too. So those should be here this summer. So this is a total cost for this year, down $600,000 over last year's purchase amount.
And I appreciate the work of figuring out which ones can fit in the bus barn without having to worry about extending that out and giving us that updated schedule.
No problem.
And the electric ones have their own building for no particular reason, like catching fire.
I mean.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the buses?
No.
Okay, so 11B5 is a resolution providing for the issuance of not to exceed $5,750,000 general obligation school bonds for Series 2025. This is for the purpose of altering, reconstructing school buildings and purchasing and installing equipment therein for prevention of safety, energy conservation, and school security purposes, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. This is the last step in our issuance of the bonds to re-roof Harlem Middle School and the Hoffman campus. So, if approved, those bonds will sell in the next couple weeks, and then I'll report to the board how that turned out.
Excellent.
Any questions on that? All right, this is hopefully the final approval for the community solar. I know I said that last month.
Until the next one?
Yes. This is a recommendation to approve a grant of easement with ComEd for placing electric poles and whatever they need to make the solar projects happen on our Swanson Road solar property. Just a 10-second recap is we own some land off Swanson that we are leasing for solar electricity, which will provide some resources to the district, and will also provide scholarships to some of our students each year. So, and that should be ready next year. Any questions on that one?
This is grant. Josh, cover just the telephone poles, or does it cover the driveways and
This
everything?
is just
that
an
they're doing?
easement, so it's whatever ComEd needs to get onto the property and do what they have to do to.
So basically, they just pile up gravel and go back and forth over it or something.
Anytime we give
Those are
anyone
big boulders.
easement or right of access to our property, the board has to approve it that way, so.
I think the original grant was the unique part of this whole project in general, where we were one of 2, if not 3 in the entire state that we met the requirements of for this.
Oh, where we own the land that's off-site, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a niche thing there. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Client First Technology Consulting for fiber optic E-rate design and RFP preparation at a cost of $13,570. And just another brief, This is to replace the fiber optics that are in our building, which is 30 years old, so that will greatly update our capacity for networking and all the different technology things that we use the internet for in our buildings, so.
And they'll last forever.
And I've told this will last pretty much forever.
Until
I'm gonna
the-
say pretty much, because forever.
Until the next technology
It may
comes
get
out.
us another 30 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a realistic way to do it.
I mean, realistically, at this point, for over 30 years, is the question that we're kind of posed on this is, most people's house, just their base internet is now surpassing some of the copper wires that we're leveraging the entire district on, so.
Any questions on that? My last item is a recommendation to approve a renewal of IXL math and ELA licenses for Harlem Middle School for a cost of $2,812.50, paid with the middle school budget. There are no questions, that is my report.
Thank you, Josh. And with that, we will move on to Shelley Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. This evening, I have the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda and addendum. We have an addendum tonight. Should have been in front of you. We have 6 resignations.
Was it in front of us? I don't know if I got an addendum. I got an addendum.
I'll give you a second to look at that, Mr. Thompson.
Did everyone else get one?
I did?
Me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have 6 resignations, 7 transfers, 19 employments.
All right.
That's a good one. And 1 Federation Bank request. That's it for us tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Yarbrough.
All right, mine is short and sweet. One FOIA request submitted on January 8th of 2025 from Sherry Reed of Smart Procure relative to purchasing records from 10/9/24 to current date, and the district response dated January 8th of 2025 with inclusive information. Any questions on the FOIA request? And then usually during this time, we do a summary of our, what we go over at our equity ESJ committee meeting, but we're going to save that for the next one because we have 2 board meetings this month. So we'll do, whenever we have 2 board meetings, we'll do that presentation at that board meeting instead of this one. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Motion and second to approve personnel agenda and addendum.
Personnel.
Personnel, thank you.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Next, 12B, approval student travel requests. Motion?
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
12C, approve facility requests.
Motion.
Second. Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Moving on to action items. 13A, approve first reading of policy updates from January 8th, 2025, Policy Committee.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
13B, approve acceptance of September and October 2024 Treasurers' Reports.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
13C, approve resolution declaring surplus property.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye. 13D, approve to award bus bid to Central State Bus Sales for 5 conventional style buses at a cost of $681,600 and 5 transit style front engine buses at a cost of $795,000 for a total cost of $1,476,600.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
13E, approve resolution providing for the issue of not to exceed $5,750,000 general obligation school bonds, Series 2025, for the purpose of altering and reconstructing school buildings and purchasing and installing equipment therein for prevention and safety, energy conservation, and school security purposes, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
Motion. That was a mouthful.
Second, yeah.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
All right, 13F, approve of grant of easement with ComEd for placing electrical poles on Swanson Road solar project.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling? Oh, gosh, why did I do that? Sorry. I gotta cross them out. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
I gotta cross these out.
Well, you don't have to go through this, you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
13G, approve an agreement with Client First Technology Consulting for fiber optic E-rate design and RFP preparation at a cost of $13,570.
Motion.
Second. Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
13H, approve a renewal of IXL Math and ELL licenses for Harlem Middle School at a cost of $2,812.50, paid with Harlem Middle School budget.
That's ELA.
Did I, what did I say?
ELL.
Oh, excuse me, sorry, I will rephrase that, ELA licenses for Harlem Middle School.
I'll motion for the ELA.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
And lastly, any additional announcements or discussion?
I had just a quickie, and maybe people may think I'm crazy or not, either way. I know we have 2 board meetings a month, and we have 1 COTW, and I know especially when we have policy, the COTW meeting tends to go on and on and on. And so I didn't know if there was a possibility, because I know we talked about COTW, possible changes for the future, if it was possible to do COTW in 2 meetings, separate meetings, like first Wednesday and second Wednesday of the month, and then possibly 1 board meeting of the month, the Monday following the second Wednesday.
Most months we only have 1 board meeting.
Yes, and a lot of months we only have 1 board meeting, at least 5 of them. And so I didn't know if it was possible to do COTW on maybe possibly ESJ and education on one night and then policy and business on another night. Because I know a lot of people tend to just disappear before the evening's over, and I know sometimes we get a little antsy ourselves and we're motioning before we're even leaving. So I just thought maybe that was something we could think about.
Is it something you want us to think about for this year or next year?
Possibly next year, just because we only have a few months left, but
Okay.
either way. So.
I'm gonna say my normal thing that I've been saying, you know, we need to, as a district, we're moving in the right direction. We have our areas of opportunity. I think we are accomplishing so much, and we need, you know, it was funny, I was actually on a little vacation this past weekend. I meant to share this with my time, but now I'm gonna take it out of your time. No, I'm just kidding. I was on a vacation this weekend, and I was sitting at a beverage restaurant place, and I was talking to some people, and they're like, well,
Applebee's?
Yeah, sure.
Chili's. It was Chili's.
And somebody asked me, I just started talking with somebody, and they asked me what I do, and I said that this is what I do, this is what I do, and I happened to mention that I was also on the Harlem School Board, and this was up in Lake Geneva, which isn't far away, but they said, oh my God, with what you guys are doing there, I'm like, whoa, where are you from? This person lived in the suburbs. People know who we are. And I'm like, you know, when somebody says, oh, I've heard of that, I'm like, oh, you know, and they're like, I've heard what you guys do. So I just want to say, like, yes, there's areas of opportunities. There's always going to be areas of opportunities, but we're moving in the right direction. And, you know, we got to keep talking about the positive things that are happening here. right now. So now I'm done taking your time. Now we're gonna go into an executive, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, and we have nothing to go into closed session for this particular session. And with that, we can adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, guys.